All right, you're listening to the Gauntlet. My name is Brian. I'm sitting here with Zen, the band Ne Obliviscaris. How you doing, Zen?
Very good today, thanks, Brian. Much appreciated for having me.
Right on. So how has the tour been so far? Right now you're in Texas, huh?
Yeah, currently we're in Fort Worth in Texas, so we just travelled over from New Orleans last night. So that's our first time in New Orleans. It's pretty cool. I would have liked to have spent a little more time there since we hadn't been there before, but it's what happens with touring. You don't get to explore much of where you travel to, so it's because schedules are pretty full on sometimes. But the tour overall is going really well, a lot better. Well, each time we've come to the US, it's been really really rewarding for us. It's going each time. So this, I think, our third time over to over here. So yeah, it's great. It's each time we come here, we've come even more and more. And, out of this tour so far, we've had about 4 sold out shows, so it's doing better than expected.
Right on. I've been spending a tremendous amount of time with this new record, Earn, and I've been listening and a fan of dark music, since, ever since I picked up, the first Black Sabbath record, or I stole it from my brother, rather. It's one of the things we did. That's how I discovered music, was stealing music from my brother, Max. And when I really started studying music and when I started picking up playing guitar, and a piece of music that this whole record reminds me of, and is Mozart's Requiem.
I'm sorry, which one?
Mozart's Requiem.
Okay, right, yeah.
And when myself growing up, I experienced a lot of loss, particularly of ones that were close to me, my godfather and uncle. I lost my mother in 2000. And, if you could picture a kid in the 80s having, a metalhead, a kid with a Slayer shirt having a catharsis listening to Mozart's Requiem.
Absolutely.
And when I discovered that masterpiece, I was astonished that, how a guy 2 centuries ago could convey the same feelings that I was having. And I think that's when I really, at that tender moment in my youth, I really discovered, the power of dark music and how it's kind of an outlet for me. And it seemed to me, with what you were trying to do lyrically, it felt like you're conveying a lot of those same feelings, juxtaposed with, the astonishing musicianship, coming from Tim, Matt, Daniel, and Benjamin. And, a question that's been burning in my mind, has there been any particular personal event in your life that caused you to go this direction thematically?
Well, it's, my life has been similar to yours to an extent in terms of a lot of loss throughout my life. I grew up listening to very dark music and that sort of thing, and I've lost a lot of people in my life. I guess with this one, lyrically, when we were, starting to write the album, we didn't lose someone from this sort, but we lost someone from the band in terms of letting go of our bass player originally at the start of the year. So it was almost like it was just, you've had someone in the band for about 13 years, and you have that sort of loss of someone you've known for that period of time in terms of no longer being a part of the band. And so I guess from that aspect, there was the sense of loss. But generally, when I'm writing lyrics and that sort of thing, I gravitate to the very darker side of things, and from there, I guess it stemmed into tapped into all my sort of the loss that I sort of dealt with throughout the years. Friends that have ended their own lives and that sort of thing. So it's I think with Earn, the overall sort of idea for the album is and Earn being filled with the contents of a cremated person being a loved one or whatever. And with that, it's, memories, all your emotions all bottled up to do with that relevant person. And each song kind of, I guess, explores different aspects to death and the loss therein, especially the song Eerie.
You made me think of that, and one thing that I heard, with the lyrics, especially with the beautiful interplay between yourself and Tim. You have this you have this loss that's without consolation, juxtaposed with this enduring hope. And you said a word, memory, and I spent 30 to 45 minutes this morning thinking about this. There is this enduring hope of memory eternal that's being juxtaposed with that, which was done quite beautifully, and it's consoling for me. It's saying to me that, wow, I'm not the only guy that thinks about these things, because I think about the continuation of that person's memory, not only myself, but that person's memory, the one that has passed on, and
well, I mean, with Eerie itself, is to do with that potential loss. It's essentially based upon the life of someone I knew years ago, but essentially I didn't want it to necessarily, I wanted it to, for people to be able to relate to, purely because, I can't just tell people about my experience. I'm trying to open it up so people can kind of think about their own experiences. And Eerie is essentially sort of, I guess, an overview looking at, someone's life, but at the same time, it's those kind of small hours during the night when, it's quiet and you get to reflect on that person's life. And, it's those small hours when everything starts to hit you more and more. And and in sort of those hard times, it's where you kind of, in a sense, get to understand more and more about that person that's no longer with us.
And it seems like and going from Eerie, and I know that Eerie was a track it was just kind of stuck in. It was started very long time ago when you guys, as far as the midsection is concerned, and I really like how that goes into, and within the void we are breathless. The void being death, and breathless is an indication of life that once was. Well, I mean, as far as, I think it's wonderful how you could take music like this, and you could take your own thing and go with it. And what it's done for me personally is, you can't have death without life, almost.
That's correct.
Yes. And to me, that I thought that was really, really cool. Another thing that really stood out to me is the comparative to the last, previous records, which I believe are masterpieces as well. This particular record, there is an astonishing amount of musicianship, and the post-production on this record, man, I can hear everybody on this record. The drum kit, it seems like, when I got my JBLs on, it sounds like I'm sitting on the drum stool, and the bass guitar is, rather than trying to do something that's in sync with guitars, everybody's doing their own thing, and there is this German-like precision taking place. What was different on this record when you guys you started composing it and started working on the production of it?
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's quite a bit of a difference in terms of the sound overall. Originally, all three albums that we've done have been recorded by the same person, being Troy McCosker, who was our sound engineer on tour also. But the first two albums were mixed and mastered by Jens Bogren. However, this album we went with Mark Lewis. He's based in Florida, so he's worked with Cannibal Corpse and what was their name, Black Dahlia Murder, bands like that. And I guess with this one, when I listen to, say, Paul Alive, for instance, I kind of think, to me, it doesn't actually sound like, in hindsight, it doesn't actually sound like a metal album. It's a strange feeling I get, whereas when I listen to Earn, it feels heavy and it feels like a metal album. It's one thing we were trying to get across. I guess with going with Mark Lewis, we wanted, after we toured and we got a lot of comments about people saying, your music is so much heavier live than what it is listening to the actual album on the CD.
Right.
And so we wanted to kind of almost, we agreed in that aspect. We watch footage back and think, yeah, it's like so much heavier, and it was something we wanted to be able to translate on CDs, that heaviness that we get from the live aspect. And so we went with Mark Lewis to kind of get that feel and that harshness and that, just almost not like a light sound, but just that heaviness from it. And I think Mark Lewis did a great job with that. And, he's, we're probably, I think, one of the most complex bands that he had to mix, so it was quite a challenge for him, but he was definitely up to it. And his mixing process was completely different to, Jens. Not that there's any issue with Jens. We loved working with him. He does amazing work. But Mark was able to get that sort of full harsh sound for us that we're after. And, we've actually had quite a lot of mixed messages in regards to the actual overall mix and sound for the album as well, purely because a lot of people have commented that, the sound, it sounds too muddy, or the snare sounds too muddy. But the thing is, like a lot of people don't realise, is that the snare is a real snare sound. Too many people have been conditioned to like a sampled drum sound, and it's just like they've forgotten what a snare sounds like. It's amazing.
As production values have increased, especially the last 10 or actually 15 or 20 years, the listener has become more demanding of an organic sound, and I'm really hearing that on this album. There's a real life to it. There's nothing too overly manufactured.
We wanted a bit more, I guess, almost like authenticity to a degree, and not have to.
And
so it was.
That's definitely something I love about this record, man. The heaviness. There's an energy there that it sounds like a live record, and that's what I love about it. It sounds like it was recorded live, and it's perfect. I think it's definitely one of the most important albums of the year, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I really appreciate what the record's done for me. You guys are getting ready to wrap up this tour. What do you guys got lined up in the future?
Yeah, well, so we're kind of, so this tour is 27 dates, and we have 5 more dates. So that we've got 3 in Texas, 1 in Phoenix, and another one in Anaheim, California. So got another 5 days to go. So after this, we go back home for a little bit, and then we're picking up in sort of mid-February for our Australia and New Zealand tour. Shortly after that, we'll be we're trying to work out heading over to Europe. Shortly after our Australian tour, trying to fit in Asia somewhere, and then essentially we'll be likely looking back at coming back to the US sometime next year. But after this tour, we're going to be sort of looking at starting for writing for the next album.
Oh wow!
So we want to be able to. So we don't want to wait as long between releases because we don't write very quickly, and so us being a little bit more proactive about things will, help us move forward a lot more quickly.
That's awesome. Hey, when you guys come back to the United States, can you do me a favor, Zen?
What's that?
Please come to Kansas City. Please.
Kansas City.
I can't wait to see you guys play live. But anyway, tell the other guys, we love you. We love all you guys here at the Gauntlet. Please keep in touch with us, and thank you so much for spending some time with us. Was there anything else you would like to add?
No, that's very much appreciated. I mean, we've been aware of the Gauntlet for years and years. I mean, I think it's been, I first noticed the Gauntlet maybe 2007 or something like that. So we've always seen the Gauntlet around, and I take my hat off to you guys for I guess enduring all these years and sort of helping out the metal scene. It's like there should be more zines and websites like you guys. So definitely much appreciated, and we'll make a note of Kansas City for next time. I mean, can't promise anything, but we can certainly put our recommendations or wants to our booking agent and go from there. But
right on.
In the meantime, thank you very much for everyone that's listening to this or reading this, and we really appreciate all the support, and we'll see everyone on tour soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Zen, and you have a fantastic day. This is Brian with the Gauntlet. We've been sitting down talking with Zen, a vocalist for the band Ne Obliviscaris. Last month they released their masterpiece, Urn, and look for them out on tour in Europe and Asia and all over. Thank you very much, sir, and you have a fantastic day.
Thank you very much, Brian. Much appreciated. We'll catch you next time.
All right, bye-bye.